performance, but they were able to lean on Le'Veon Bell. You know, this is a team that knows their identity. Okay, they know
Sometimes
that they have a
though.
top back in Le'Veon Bell. They know that they have a top wide receiver in Antonio Brown. They constantly target him. They constantly feed the ball to Le'Veon Bell. They don't try to get cute. They don't try to go somewhere else. They don't try to get other guys involved in the game. They know exactly who they are.
Yeah.
And you have to commend them for that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Now that Oakland is possibly going to take a step back, this opens things up to Pittsburgh, Kansas City, to challenge New England.
Yeah, because New England is the clear front runner.
Absolutely.
And you talk about the talent that each of these guys have on the roster. You look at skill positions alone, New England probably has the least, if you're looking at it on paper. Okay. But they got Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And that makes up for pretty much everything.
And they still have their scouting department. They still will record your plays.
Lord have mercy.
Okay.
Let's get back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, Antonio Brown, great catch, push across the goal line there.
Right.
Le'Veon Bell, 20 carries, 122 yards on the ground. Solid performance. Can we expect that consistently through the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, that's the DNA of that team.
Okay.
I don't think that team is going to go away from that. Honestly, I just don't see that changing for that individual team. And so while we're on the Steelers, let's talk about the Terry Bradshaw, 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Steelers. I think it was on Friday. He had made some comments about, you know, his opinion, and you have to respect the guy's opinion. Okay. Yeah. His opinion of Mike Tomlin wasn't that he was a great coach, even though, you know, he had won a Super Bowl, he had lost a Super Bowl.
Great cheerleader.
In the 10 years that he's been there with Pittsburgh, he said that he's a great cheerleader.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I'll be honest with you. I read Mike Tomlin's response to this, and I'm gonna read it word for word exactly the way that he said it. It was one of the best responses that I had heard from someone firing back, and the poignant remark that he made at the end to really stick it to Terry Bradshaw. Okay.
Yeah.
He said, "I appreciate the support, but criticism and critique are very much a part of our business. It's an element of our business that as a competitor, I embrace. The term great, that's something I have a great deal of respect for. I certainly don't think that my resume to this point reads as great, but very few coaches' resumes read as that at this point. Guys like Bill Belichick in New England probably can say that. Pop down in San Antonio, I think the rest of us are just working stiffs, to be quite honest with you. Terms like cheerleader guy to me maybe falls outside of the bounds of critique or criticism. They probably fall more towards the area of disrespect and unprofessional. But what do I know? I grew up a Dallas fan, particularly a Hollywood Henderson fan. And for those that aren't familiar with it, Hollywood Henderson is the one that said that, you know, Terry Bradshaw could not spell cat, even if you spotted him the C and the T. Okay. So that was a direct comeback at Terry Bradshaw that I thought was just classic.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta love it. And you know, he's got a point. I mean, he is absolutely right. You know, you talk about Bill Belichick, Greg Popovich, those guys, they have that it.
Right.
That it factor. And make no mistake about it, Mike Tomlin has had a phenomenal career.
Right.
In Pittsburgh. Okay.
Absolutely.
There's really been no real reason to get rid of him.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Throughout his tenure. Like you said, you got a Super Bowl. You've been there twice. Okay.
You've been there twice.
You're in the hunt almost every year.
Yeah.
All right. And this year, you know, could be one of their best years of being in the hunt. They got everybody's healthy going down the stretch. Last year you had, you had Le'Veon Bell go out. Ben Roethlisberger, injuries to him. But this year, everybody's there. Everybody's ready to go. So this could be their run.
Yeah.
And how sweet it would be to top it off with a Super Bowl victory, to really stick it to Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that sweet. But no, I get your point. I totally get your point. But I did love the comeback. I really
it was a
loved
good
the
comeback.
And so let's get on the Monday night game. What you think?
Who played Monday night?
Huh?
Oh, it was Cowboys and Lions. Cowboys and Lions Monday night.
Right.
Tied 21 going into the half. Right. Solid game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the Cowboys came out and put it on them that second half.
Okay.
They shut them down. I mean, for all the talk about the Cowboys defense, second half shutout.
Right.
I mean, that's got to count for something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had the nice little trick play from Dez, showing that he's still capable of making a contribution.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. I mean, it's your squad.
Look, here's the thing. In this game, I know that the Cowboys were. A lot of talk was on, would Romo get in the game and would we see Romo and so on and so forth. This team, I think, not being in this position because of the young players, that first half or even the first quarter and a half with Detroit matching them play for the most part. And I think they went into the half and they said, you know what? It's time to play. I don't think that there was just a switch that they turned on or anything like that, but they knew that they were in a game.
Yeah.
They knew that they were going to have to come out and make some plays, and that's exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that you have to go back and you look at a lot of the teams that have gone on runs and how they are starting to fire on all cylinders towards the end. And this is 2 weeks in a row now that you've seen the Cowboys come out after losing to the Giants, come out and play a sound game.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, 15 for 20, 212 yards, 3 touchdowns, okay? QB rating of 94. That's on the scale of 0 to 100, 100 being the highest, of course. Ezekiel Elliott, 12 carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. The one that he took off for 55 yards, outrunning
had a
the
big
Denver
run
defense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant had 2 great catches. They got him involved. They targeted Terrence Williams 4 times, targeted Jason Witten 4 times, Cole Beasley 5 times. So they were getting everybody involved. They had the touchdown to Bryce Butler. So their offense is looking like it's in sync and it's ready for the playoffs. The defense, look, the defense doesn't get a lot of credit. Okay.
Well, you don't give them much credit.
Here's the thing. The defense, when you look at it across the board, we talk about the Denver defense and how the Denver defense is matches up as far as their stats. Okay, as far as keeping the opponent from scoring and so on and so forth. Okay, the Dallas Cowboys right now are 4th in the league as far as defensive points allowed. Okay, at 18.6.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's better than Denver. That's better than Baltimore. That's better than Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay. So their defense is not giving up a whole lot of points or anything like that. I know that people are enamored with the fact that Kirk Cousins threw for almost 500 yards, but it was in a losing effort.
Mm-hmm.
And for the 3rd week, they have been coming up big because even in that Giants game, save for that one Odell Beckham play, I mean, the defense was playing lights out.
Yeah.
So that team, I mean, they're starting to fire on all cylinders right now. Going into this last game against Philadelphia, you see that Mark Sanchez is going to be active this week just in case so that you can get him some reps instead of Tony Romo. And I think that's more in part due to the fact that Tyron Smith is going to be sitting out this last game. You don't want to throw Tony Romo in there with your backups in the offensive line because if he does get sacked,
right,
all it takes is them blowing on him and his back is gone.
It's just disrespectful the way they're treating Tony Romo for what he's done for this franchise. It's despicable. I think he should be in there. Getting some playing time, getting some reps because, seeing those 2 young quarterbacks, Mariota and Derek Carr, going down, you want a veteran guy who's ready to go. All right. in the event that something happens, in the event, okay? I mean, Dallas, they may not even play Dak this game, next game. I don't know. But to completely sit Romo out, it's disrespectful.
I know you don't believe that.
I do.
You know what's disrespectful, and it's funny all at the same time. You go out to the store, especially in this area, okay, and you see the kids and everyone wearing. And I know you've seen it, the Dak Prescott jerseys.
I haven't seen any Dak Prescott jerseys or Ezekiel Elliott jerseys.
Okay,
honestly,
so you're not telling the truth. We already know that. And you go to the store, and Tony Romo's jersey, okay, 30% off.
Look. You know, people are still.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I did feel bad for the guy when I saw the 30% off.
Look, let me tell you, and I told you. Look, and let's go back to the beginning of the season, right? And I told you Tony Romo was done. I told you last season he was done. All right. You know, make room, make way. Go ahead and make way for the new era to come in. Embrace it. Embrace it. Don't reject it, and don't embrace it now after they've won 12, 13 games. Okay, right. Don't be that guy. Embrace it from the beginning. All right. Well, ride with him.
Here's the thing.
It's easy to embrace it now, and that's what Cowboys fans do.
You know that that I've always been a Dak Prescott guy. Coming out of college,
you were high on him coming out of college,
and
but you weren't that high on him to replace Tony Romo right away.
Well, here's the thing. That's the reason why you draft Dak. Right, that's the whole reason why you draft Dak is because down the line he was going to be in. What did I always say? 2 years, and then you turn the team over to Dak Prescott. Of course, that got expedited on the third play against Seattle. But what did I say after that happened? When he went into that game in Seattle, and he did not flinch, and that Seattle defense was zinging around the field. And now you look at young Dak Prescott gearing up for his first playoff run. Okay, this is going to be special. This team, they know their identity.
He can do it all. I mean, look, even this game, you know, it's not like he didn't throw 50 some passes. Okay, right. You know, what was it, 20 passes? You know, 15 to 20.
Took off running 4 or 5 times, right?
Yeah, very modest. You know, keeping the chains moving. Right. Very methodically sound game. Right. Making him play within himself. Okay.
Right.
And you know, Tony Romo used to be like that until, you know, until they started putting everything on Tony Romo. I mean, when they won with DeMarco Murray back there, they were doing pretty good.
They were doing pretty good.
Tony Romo had one of his best seasons. So it's, you know, it's real easy to say, you know, hey, he's doing great.
Here's the funny thing. Here's so funny. This is what's so funny, especially coming from you. Doing that run when they were making that run in 2014, I remember you telling me that the bottom was going to fall out because of the quarterback that we had, and
it's still Tony Romo,
right?
It's still Tony Romo.
So now hearing you defend Tony Romo, look, the Tony train.
His career started in Dallas with a mistake.
It didn't start there with a mistake. He took over for Drew Bledsoe, right?
The
quarterbacked them to the playoffs.
Fumble snap for the field goal. Okay, or the extra
in the playoffs though. In the playoffs,
fumble snap, and then him trying to get to the line and falling short.
But it was in the playoffs.
That falling short right there defined his career in Dallas.
Wow. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. I
mean, we see because we know that the writing is on the.
We know that the writing is on the wall.
The writing is on the wall. That's right. He is up for trade.
And I am hoping that after the Cowboys make a very long run in the playoffs, that he considers to retirement.
Yeah, because I don't think he'll consider retirement. He may go, if he does go to Denver. Let's hope that the Cowboys don't see him in Denver.
Right.
Next year.
We'll see.
In the Super Bowl.
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
In the Super Bowl.
All Denver is away.
Because that would be some sweet revenge for Tony Romo.
Absolutely. Well, look, that's something that the Cowboys franchise has dealt with before. You go back to Craig Morton and Roger Staubach. Meeting them in the Super Bowl. And the Cowboys were victorious in that.
Indeed.
Let's talk about this real quick. Your playoff settings right now.